I am I'm Heather Chesky, and I am so excited to be coming to you guys live today. I am going to be waiting for a few more people to hop on, just so people can get in and watch this. I have something that I really am excited about talking about today that has really made a positive impact in my photography business. So today's Facebook Live, today's business tip is really going to be specifically for photographers, actually, and just really helping you to grow your business in a way that feels good and right to you. So if you are a first-time listener, if you're the first time joining, first of all, welcome. My name is Heather Chesky, and just to give you a little bit of information about myself, about 5 years ago, I was laid off from my steady day job. This came without warning. Basically, I went into the office one morning and I left, I think around like 10 a.m. without an income. I had an 8-month-old baby at the time, and it was utterly terrifying to just have a paycheck and then to not have one. At the time, I had a small photography company, and it was very small. It was like a hobby status then. So I really just wanted to get that, to grow that business and to get it to a point where it could financially bless my family. Oh, hey, Jessica, I'm so glad you're popping on. So now I've been actually running a successful photography business from my home with my 2 kids for the last 5 years. And I have learned so much over those years. And I've learned a lot of things that have worked really well and other things that haven't. So now I am taking all of what I've learned, the good, the bad, the ugly, and now I'm coaching and mentoring other aspiring photographers who want to make an impact and an income with their photography business. I love focusing in and working with stay-at-home parents, because that's basically what I am. I love working with moms, especially who have young kids at home like I do, who really just have this creative passion and desire to use their photography and also still be the wife and the mom that they truly want to be. So a lot of what I teach is basically how to make a few simple tweaks in your business to have the most impact and the most return, so you can still be the wife and the mom that you long to be. So basically, if you are popping on, go ahead and let me know who you are. Tell me where you're from. If you are watching the replay, thank you so much for watching. I'd love for you to go ahead and still post in the comments who you are and whatnot. Let me get back to my notes here so I don't lose track. So basically today I wanted to talk about something that has made a really great impact in my business. And basically, it's called the law of focus. And I'm not sure, maybe you can let me know in the chat box, but basically, have you ever heard of the laws of success? There's actually quite a few of them. And what I want to focus in on today is one of these laws to success, and actually how you can apply it in your life to achieve the results that you want in your business. So basically, these laws of success act just like the law of gravity, where it's basically, it's set in stone. It's something that just is, and you can either apply it to your benefit or it could be applied to your detriment. And so what I want to show you today is how to apply the law of focus for your benefit. So just so I can get a better idea, have you, and I'm sure you guys have felt like this. Please post if you have, but have you ever felt super bombarded in today's world? Have you felt scatterbrained, like you're just rushing from one activity to the next activity and you don't even have time to breathe? Like, have you ever felt so busy that you just go nonstop, and then at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you look back and you're like, okay, what did I really accomplish? It was basically nothing, because you're just going from one fire, putting out one fire and then going to the next one, and you're just going so quickly, and that you just really, time just passes you by so quickly. I know a lot of times, specifically for me, and I'm sure a lot of you photographers can relate, where, I'm trying to work on my business, and, you go on Facebook because it's a great tool to market your business. And then you go on to simply post something for your business, and then you see a friend's comment pop up, and then before you know it, 45 minutes has passed by, and you're like, okay, what did I come on Facebook for? I can't even remember. And you just wasted the last hour. And so basically, having that kind of going from here, going from there, all over the place leads to a lot of overwhelm, and it leads to a lot of frustration. With the photographers I have worked with, without fail, a lot of them have come to me just really feeling like, and they admit that they just don't know what to do next in their business. Or, maybe they do know what to do next, but they admit that they are procrastinating on the tasks that they know that they need to do to get their business to the next level. So for example, this is something I was just talking to with somebody else earlier today, is just following up with your leads, your clients, and how often have I myself make it a point to follow up with my inquiries, and then I'm procrastinating. I'm like, okay, I'll do it after I clean the kitchen or after I do the dishes, and I put all these other tasks that don't seem as scary ahead of what I know I need to do in my business to get it to the next level. And I'm just curious, can you guys relate to that at all? Go ahead and click the heart icon if you can relate to anything that I am saying. I remember when I first started my business a couple years ago, that I felt like that way all the time. Like I was incredibly overwhelmed. There seemed like there were just not enough hours in the day. And I just didn't know where to focus my time. Like I said, I had an 8-month-old baby at home who basically took about 2 years for him to sleep through the entire night, which basically meant that I rarely slept. And he required constant attention. He wasn't one of those babies who could just play by himself nicely. He needed that attention all the time. And so my hours were so limited. And then with the few hours that I had to work in my business, I just felt overwhelmed. I'm like, I questioned, okay, should I be blogging more? Maybe I should work on my editing or off-camera flash, or just getting more comfortable shooting in manual, or should I, reach out to partners and other businesses to network with? I just wasn't sure what to do next in my business. And it would just cause me a lot of overwhelm, a lot of anxiety. And basically it was a shiny object syndrome to the max. I had that. I am recovering from that. And I've actually learned quite a few ways to deal with that, which I'm really excited to share with you today. But basically, going from all those different tasks led to just me just not feeling good about myself, me feeling like I wasn't good enough. I don't know if you guys ever felt like that, but I felt like my mind was all over the place. Like I felt like I wasn't a good enough mom. I felt like I wasn't a good enough wife. I felt like I wasn't a good enough photographer or business owner, just because my attention was all over the place. So if you feel that way too, keep listening, because this live is specifically for you. So as I mentioned earlier, I am talking about the law of focus today. And basically, if you haven't heard of this law, it's also sometimes called the law of attraction. But basically it states that whatever you focus in on is what you get good at. And this is really, really good news. It basically means that you have the choice, you have the power, and you can decide what you want to get good at. But I also want to say this with caution too, like how many times in a day do we think or say negative things about ourselves, about our businesses, or just about the industry at large? And I am so guilty at this, so I am not pointing fingers. I am teaching this because I'm really coming from a place of like, man, I have been there, and I know what it's like to get so stuck in that negative cycle where all you can focus in on the things that are going wrong. So I know you guys have seen this. If you're a photographer, chances are you're probably in a couple zillion photography Facebook forums, which are great. But how many times have you guys gone to those groups and you read, or maybe you have even posted the negative things that are about our industry? Like maybe you have even said yourself that the photography industry is just so oversaturated. Maybe you are stuck in a mentality that says that everybody thinks that they are a pro photographer now because getting a camera nowadays is so easy. Or maybe you're stuck in a mentality with a negative focus of just saying, you know what, everybody wants the digital files. Nobody wants to pay extra for, the stuff on the walls or the albums, or, you feel like if you were to implement in-person sales in your business, you would feel sleazy. Or, maybe you feel like, and you've said that you can't compete with a photographer down the road who's charging $75 for the whole shebang, and you just don't know how you can compete with that. Or maybe you are just coming from a place of feeling like your work really is not worth the price tag, and you are just coming from a place of just lack of confidence. And I want you guys to realize that nobody who thinks that way will ever become successful. So basically, if you want to be successful, if you want to have a successful portrait studio or wedding photography business, you have to start thinking in a way that you have to have success-oriented thoughts. So basically, this is where the law of focus comes into play. I would love to share a verse from the Bible. I actually am a born-again Christian, and I base my business off of biblical principles. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying that's the way that I have chosen how to run my business, and it has made all the difference. So I really try to make an effort to follow the biblical principles that are laid out. And there's this one verse in the Bible that it comes from Proverbs 23:7, and it basically says, "As a man thinketh, so he is." So basically, it's saying that, we become what we think. Our minds create our own reality. Basically, the more good thoughts that you have, the more good that comes. If you think more bad thoughts, then the more bad that will come. So when we're thinking about this in terms of our photography business, like, how do you actually put it into practice? So that thinking in a way, thinking successful thoughts, thinking in a way of, how that you are capable, that you can have, X amount of clients every single month, or you can have you can achieve 4-figure sales, or whatever that is. Like, how do you actually put this law of focus into practice? I actually would love to share 3 tips for you today, things that I have used in my business to actually just help me focus in on my bigger goals in my business, so that I am constantly training my mind to think in a way that will help me along this success path in the way that I define success. So basically, I'm going to show you guys a couple of things that I have used in the past and currently. And hopefully, one of these things will click for you, and that you would want to start implementing it in your business. These things actually that I'm going to show you are applicable in your photography business. If you're watching this and you have another creative business, they are definitely applicable in that. They're just applicable in anything in life, really. The point I want to get across is whatever you choose to focus on is what you get good at. Whatever you choose to focus on is what you experience in life. So some of the tools that I use to help me focus on what I actually want. The first thing I'm going to show you is actually my vision board. So this is actually an old one of it. Let me see if you guys can see that. So this is basically my vision board. This is from earlier this year. A lot of these I've accomplished already, which I'm really excited about. But basically, it covers everything from my personal life to my business life and things that I want to accomplish. To give you a little bit of an example, I have a House of Flynn backpack right here, the Playa backpack, which is something that I wanted. I had been I just wanted it. They're great bags. And so I put a financial goal for my business that I would achieve a certain income level before I treated myself to that bag. So basically, I had that number in my mind. I focused in on that number, and I knew exactly what I needed to do and knew how many clients I needed to work with based on my average sale, so that I could get that bag. And that bag is now sitting in my corner right now because I achieved that goal. But this is something I actually have hanging up in my closet. I have a walk-in closet. It's pretty nice. And this is something I look at not this one specifically. This was the old one. But this is something I look at every morning when I'm getting ready, and again, every night when I'm getting ready before bed. And basically, I'm focusing in my mind. I'm visualizing, experiencing these things. And that way, that allows my mind to think about ways and tactics I can use to start achieving them. So that's the first thing that you can use. The first tip is actually using a vision board. The next thing you can use this is something I'm doing right now, and I really, really enjoy it. This is just a basic journal that was given to me by my coach. But basically, on the inside, I have just written a couple pages just words. These are literally just affirmations. And honestly, every page is the same. So when I wake up in the morning, I have my time with God, and it's just time where, I get up before my kids get up, and it's just time for me to just kind of come into the day with the right frame of mind and kind of just set my intentions for the day. And this is one of the things that I do every single morning, where basically I write in this journal. I'm literally just writing my affirmations over and over again, and writing these every single morning. So I just have, I think 13 maybe. But basically I have I break it down into the way that my priorities are. So basically, my first three affirmations relate to my relationship with God and my spiritual walk. So there are things that I want to achieve as I grow closer with my God. The second three are with my husband and how I want my relationship with my husband to be. The third three are basically how I want to be as a mother, and what I want to instill in my kids. And then the final, I think that's more like five or six, are actually pertaining to my business and how I want my business to grow, and the specific goals that I want to reach in my business. And basically, this is something that I handwrite every single morning. I read it through. I meditate on these, and the order of this is actually pretty key. We'll probably be talking about priorities in a future Facebook Live, but I have set up my priorities in a way where God comes first, then my marriage, my relationship with John, my husband, then my role as a mother, and then finally my business. And I believe having your life set up in that way really leads to a lot of freedom and success. Again, we'll be talking about priorities most likely in a future video, but basically the goal of writing out my goals and what I want to focus on, and these are my affirmations in my journal every single morning. It helps me to focus my mind on like what I want to accomplish that day. It really helps me kind of keep my eye on the big picture so that I'm not discouraged by the little bumps that come along, because we all know that life is full of ups and downs, and it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go exactly as planned. So this really helps me keep my eye on the prize, essentially. The third thing that I want to share with you, and this is really exciting, guys, this is something that just happened, is basically I wrote a check to my husband. Let me go ahead and explain the story about this. But one of my goals with my husband and I is really, we're in debt. Debt is a part of our life right now, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it, but it's just, it is what it is. And so one of our current goals is to really focus a lot of our income on getting out of debt. So we've been on this journey for, a while, and there's some time left to go, and that's fine. But basically, I wrote this check. You can see it. I wrote this check 2 months before I actually gave it to my husband. So I looked at the calendar and I wanted to give my husband a gift for Father's Day. I actually wanted to, you could tell the amount is just under $3,000. But basically the amount covered one of the loans that we had out, one of our debts. And my goal was to actually, give him this check as a gift for Father's Day. So that would just completely wipe out one of our debts. And so basically I wrote this 2 months before I even had the money set aside for this, before I even knew if I could get the money, before, it was even Father's Day. It was 2 months beforehand. And basically this is a check that I focused in on every morning. Again, when I was right in the middle of writing my affirmations, it was actually my bookmark in my journal. And this is just something that I just really focused in on, and that I wanted to make. I was very specific with the numbers. So it's $2,978.31 because that was the exact amount that the loan was. And I focused in on that. And then I just really focused in on how I wanted to give it to my husband, and how I wanted to gift him with that on Father's Day. And just really experiencing the joy and the freedom that would come with just giving him this check and kind of crossing off one of our debts. So this is something that I knew I wanted to do 2 months prior to me even doing it. So this allowed me to focus in on the task that I needed to do, the people I needed to reach, what I needed to up in my business and in my service level, so I could have the extra funds to give my husband a $3,000 check for Father's Day. And this is something, again, that I looked at every single day. It helped me keep my focus on what that end goal was. And guys, let me tell you, the past 2 months have been rough. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I've had some major blows, some major struggles, but having something like this that I can just keep refocusing on every single day, really allowed me to get back on the saddle and not let those down times be as long, or longer than they needed to be. So there you have it. Those are 3 things that I have used that have worked wonders in my business to help me stay focused on my bigger goals. The vision board is great. I didn't even tell you guys, but basically in order to make this, we're all photographers. So I just basically made this in Photoshop and then printed it through my lab, and this is a cheapo frame from Michael's, I believe, and it just sits in my closet. But basically, I've seen these done with magazines, or you just cut out pictures in magazines. But I really like the Photoshop because I'm currently updating it now to kind of do my goals for the last 6 months of the year, and then I'm just going to replace it. And then the second thing was the journal, and actually writing out your affirmations and being super specifics. Actually, to give you an example, one of my affirmations is I'm not there yet, but it's like I make X amount of dollars every month, and then X amount of dollars for the year. And these are loftier goals I know I will achieve, but unless I start to think that way, I won't start acting in a way that will lead to achieving those goals. Does that make sense? I really hope this is making sense. I'm actually going to go through and read through some of the comments here. Give me a moment. But yeah, I would love to hear what you think about this. If you have any questions, let's see, Morgan, you asked, how did you have your vision board printed? Oh, I think I already answered that. I just, Photoshop, I really Googled a lot of images. One image actually right here. Oh, hold on. Here. Wait, that's my family. So I just brought that in, and basically that was to represent, I wanted to have a designated movie, popcorn, sleep overnight with my family and my boys, because I value time with my family. And that was a goal of mine, to actually make it a weekly thing that I did. I didn't want to allow anything else to get in. I wanted to have that time with my family. Does that answer your question, Morgan? I hope so. Jen, I'm so glad you popped on. So basically, guys, I hope you got a lot of value from this. I mean, I would love to hear what your current goals are, what you're trying to focus in on in your business, and things that you've used in the past that actually really helped. If you've used any one of the methods I've shared, go ahead and let me know. But if you have something else that you've used that works great, go ahead and also post that in the comments section. I would also love to ask you, if you like this, go ahead and click the heart icon. That basically means Facebook reads that as like, it gives you more exposure that way. And so, I mean, guys, we're all photographers. We've all felt the strain and the struggle that it is. So if you know a photographer who could be encouraged by this, go ahead and share this video with them. I would love that. And then also, I would love to make an invitation. As I mentioned, I coach and mentor aspiring photographers to help them make income and impact in their business. My goal is for my clients to start bringing in a steady stream of income, but do it in a way that that means that they can actually enjoy time with their family, and it doesn't have to do it in a way where they have to sacrifice every single night away from them or every single weekend. I believe you're working in your business for your family, to spend more time with them, to give them freedom, to give them financial freedom. So I coach from a place of, let's figure out a way. We really try to figure out and focus on the things that will bring in the most revenue the quickest, so that you can be the mom and the wife that you long to be. I actually have 2 spots open for my one-on-one coaching right now. So if that is something that is of interest of you, just go ahead and send me a private message. I'd love to talk with you more about that. But basically, that's all I have today for, the business tip. Again, if you wouldn't mind sending some hearts, I would love that. If you could share this with any other your photographer friends you think would like it, that'd be awesome. I'd love to hear your comments. Go ahead and post those. If you have any questions, or just maybe your biggest takeaway, I would love to read that. And then if you are interested in hearing more about the private coaching, just send me a private message, and I would love to connect with you. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. All right. Bye-bye.